So how are things?
They're okay,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, could be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be a lot better.
Okay.
How about you?
I've been okay.
Yeah.
Kind of happy actually.
Really?
I've been happier recently.
That's unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been feeling pretty good. But
Why are you happy?
um excited for life, I guess. I received my certification for trauma integration like a few months ago, but I just posted about it on my family's Facebook page, and I'm like wanting to take clients and stuff. So I'm really excited to like start working with people, and yeah, excited for the future.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And you develop your clientele just kind of through word of mouth and stuff, or like how do you develop
Yeah. So
your practice?
one of the therapists that I work with right now, she says she has a lot of people for me that she thinks I would be good to work with. So yeah, basically just people referring to me, others to me, and yeah, stuff like that. So I'm eager to work with people, but I'm excited for just moving on with my life. I've been so depressed for so long. So I kind of feel some motivation now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Pretty lit.
Yeah. And is it like tough to get your foot in the door, like, because you went to a class, you developed a trait or a practice
Yeah.
in it, and this is regression therapy. It's like a new thing, like a new field.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're out and you have your certificate and you're ready. You get referred to by like people that taught you, but they're teaching quite a lot of people, so I'm sure that they're pretty thin.
Yeah.
So how do you get the word out?
Just other people referring me, and family members telling their friends,
Like grassroots.
yeah, stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely gonna be slow at first for sure, but it's gonna take a while to build up any sort of clientele. But I'm offering like 2 free sessions at the start, stuff like that, so you can see if you want to continue and stuff. And my rates will still be pretty low when I start too, since I'm still a beginner. But yeah, it'll probably take some time, but just word of mouth and sharing about it as much as I can, whenever I can.
Sick. Is there like a way or a system to, how do I word this? You're receiving so much negative energy.
Yeah.
From people. That's your job.
Right.
Is to like be on the receiving end of just horrible shit and horrible things.
Yeah.
So is there a way or mechanism or something to be prepared for that?
I don't want to call it like desensitization, because you're still just as like empathetic, but it's kind of just knowing that your job is to help people who have gone through this. Like, you kind of go through the thing, wow, this is really horrible that this actually happens to people and stuff like that. But then you just start seeing it more and more and more, and it's kind of like you become good at helping them, and so it kind of makes you feel better in a way. It's like you're hearing all these horrible traumatic things, and it can have an effect on you, but it's like helping them is kind of how you make yourself feel better about it, or like ease the burden off of you too, because you're helping them, and just knowing that all you can do is your job and help them the best way that you can. But yeah, I've kind of just gotten used to hearing really, really horrible things, so certain things are less surprising than others. Whereas to someone who doesn't do this kind of work, would be shocked by a lot of the things. But yeah, it's just kind of, it's almost like desensitization. You get used to it, but like you still feel just as bad for the person and you still want to help them the same way.
Have you talked to the therapists, maybe like your therapist or any therapists, about how that affects their day-to-day life, like constantly being on the receiving end of just trauma and just horrible people going through horrible things?
Yeah, there's sometimes people have told me like they feel like they've made a mistake with someone, or if they've done something wrong and they unintentionally sabotage something, and we're all very spiritual, but she said that she was like praying and God told her like, I allowed you to make this mistake on this person because they could handle it. So now you know for the future, stuff like that. So it is kind of a big burden sometimes, feeling like, especially if somebody is really suicidal, really not doing good.
Yeah, like they're on the edge, and then you have so much impact.
Yeah.
In their life.
And then you do something wrong, and you're like, well,
it could be like life or death sometimes.
Right, exactly. So there is pressure sometimes. There's a burden. I've talked to people who have lost clients to suicide, and it's like a huge burden. It's really horrible, but that stuff can happen, unfortunately, when you do work like this. So
yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
that's some hardcore shit.
Yeah,
you're on the field. Yeah, there's people that are very, very sick in the head, or just
barely holding on.
Yeah, but that's awesome. That's also something that I would, if I took a traditional route, therapist was one of my things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just sit and talk with people.
Yeah. It's super interesting learning about the brain and hearing what people go through. And especially with the work that I do, it's really people being able to find peace again and feeling like whole again. It's really cool. So there's a lot of, benefits and beautiful things about it after you get past all the mucky parts, all the really bad, difficult parts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then your mom also is involved, right? Is she going to start? She's starting her practice. You guys all got your certificates around the same at the same time?
Yeah, around the same time. I don't know how soon she'll start taking clients because she has a lot on her plate right now. She doesn't have a lot of time. So as soon as she helps my siblings and stuff and she has a little bit more time, gets them to school and stuff, then hopefully she'll be able to practice like me.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a lot on her plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting to work with different traumas. I'm thinking the podcast you sent me earlier this week, what is her name? Do you know how to pronounce her name?
Oh, something Parks.
Yeah.
Park.
Something Parks.
Naomi, something and something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. But listening to her story about escaping North Korea, I feel like I've been through a lot of shit. I've been through a lot of stuff, but like listening to her, I almost feel like so privileged and like I've had an easy life.
Easy.
Yeah.
Compared to, huge swaths of people, and there's huge populations of people that have it so much worse than the worst. The people that have it the worst in the United States.
Yeah. I mean, they don't even know the word trauma.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah. In the North Korea, they don't have a word for love. It's not in their language. They took it out.
Except
the Communist Party took out.
The only feeling, or they only use the word love if they're referring to
the dear leader.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah. Yeah. They're their leader. And there's just one radio that plays. And constantly just spewing propaganda, basically. Like one radio that you can't turn off in your space that just spews propaganda all day, and you're like fucking hunting the field for bugs to eat. It's
so crazy how it can get that bad.
Yeah.
Socialism. How does it get so bad?
Yeah. Well, when you give into like equality and basically giving government power to essentially do anything basically because they convince you that they're going to make everything equal, and then you give over your power for them to keep you safe and keep the equality up and stuff. But after you give so much power away, there's just, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're done and stuff. You turn into North Korea.
Right.
Yeah. Where it's just a slow thing. And that's how she said that North Korea is basically a concentration camp.
Mm-hmm.
The country's basically a concentration camp.
Yeah.
And the people that aren't in any of the work or the kill camps and the work camps, the people that aren't there are scavenging dirt and eating grasshoppers and
plants.
Yeah.
Rats.
And they're so hungry that their pores open up in their skin and their organs fall out.
Yeah.
And you see dead bodies every day.
Right. Becoming like so desensitized to just seeing dead bodies.
Yeah, like you were talking about being desensitized just and doing therapy and being able to do therapy with people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she said that the dead bodies was a daily thing. It was a part of quote unquote normal life.
And to feel nothing.
Yeah, stacks of bodies at the train station. You just go and walk by. You don't even look at it. And stuff in socialists is pretty comparable to now the Democratic Party's become very socialist, and it's shifted into more socialism. And there's cities that have extreme socialism. Like I lived in Seattle, and there would be bodies on the street, the homeless.
Yeah.
Because homeless people go to the cities that go to liberal cities, basically.
Yeah.
So there would be bodies on the floor, and sometimes their chest wasn't moving, or that you couldn't tell it, you didn't know if they're breathing or not.
Damn.
And that's socialism.
Yeah.
They are socialist, or the most socialist city in the United States, one of them. So there's a live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Example, or like fucking case study.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she was kind of talking about it, like how America lost it. Like now we're so against each other. There's an agenda, and you let certain people take control in exchange for like safety. But how do they even get to the point where they want so much control? Like, are these people genuinely evil, you know,
what
to take
evil,
advantage?
I don't even know a clear definition of, I mean, just wanting to cause harm. I mean, yeah, for sure. You know?
Yeah, to not even care about your people.
Yeah, death means nothing. So it doesn't affect them. It's like killing ants.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I had some ants invade my kitchen, and I took some honey and I mixed it with this borax, which is poison, but they use to make soap. But if you give it to ants, they'll take it and then they'll feed their larvae, and they'll feed their people with this honey, but it's poison. And they bring in the honey to the hive. Eventually all the babies become poisoned with it, and eventually the queen dies, and thousands of lives. Wow. And I do that without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just mixing the honey in, putting it on my shit. So, and kill an entire civilization basically.
So you don't have to deal with them anymore.
Right. Because it's just kind of become a nuisance. In my kitchen.
Inconvenient.
Yes, it's definitely inconvenienced me while I'm in my kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is. That's what it's become. It can't be, I don't know. They don't see themselves and they can be removed from that kind of human aspect of caring about life.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's like we know these things are going on, and I want to get to the sex trafficking, but it's interesting because there's like nothing we can do about it. I mean, they have weapons, we have weapons. They would fucking nuke us, you know, without hesitation.
That's where most of their money goes.
And we have relations with China. China's got their back.
China's got their sticky fingers in the U.S. everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have extreme influence over us. Her name is Yeonmi. Oh, man. Yeonmi. Yeonmi?
Yeonmi. I don't speak Korean.
Yeah, Yeonmi Park is the story that we're referring to with the Joe Rogan, and the backdrop of the conversation is.
It's his most recent podcast.
Now it's like 2 or 3 ago, but
Okay.
it's August 11th. It was a few days, I don't know, like 4 days ago.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours,
Like
but it's
August 7th or something. It dropped.
really, really good.
Oh man, holy shit! And it scared the shit out of me. I was so high when I fucking listened to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And that shit put me in a bad fucking headspace.
yeah,
Because of all the parallels and what she's saying, that we are taking on communist and socialist shit in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
In a real way. We are taking that shit on, and with the language, the changing of language and the censorship, just mass censorship over everything. You're constantly tiptoeing on glass now.
Yeah.
All that shit is socialist, communist shit.
Yeah, she said like people only wanted to talk to her when she spoke about Trump, not when she talks about North Korea or sex trafficking or anything, but when she started talking about Trump. They wanted her opinion on Trump.
Yeah.
So only shit they care about
If
is their agenda.
Yep. It's got to fit into their little shit and their little paradigm that they feed us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the guy, what's his name? He sounds like a James Bond supervillain. World Economic Forum, WEF, where some of the most powerful and influential people from all over the world come together and plot domination or whatever. I don't know what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They all come together and then in like a supervillain type style shit going on in the fucking something Schwab, Cloud Schwab or some shit like that. He's just like this fat dude with this like raspy voice. He looks and sounds like a super villain out of a fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot where I was fucking going with that. But yeah, North Korea, we're fucking the fucking motto of that gathering of like, we talk about Bill Gates, the fucking leaders of countries, Saudi Arabia, like all the most powerful motherfuckers come to this island. And the motto of the last gathering was, you will own nothing and you will be happy. It's a worldwide push to socialism.
Yeah.
Because if you like Australia right now, they're completely fucking locked down, military walking up and down the street, finding people and jailing people for fucking walking their dog.
Yeah.
They took their guns away in the 90s.
They did that. Yeah.
Guns got taken away in the 90s. Fast forward 30 years, military walking down the street telling you can't fucking go on a walk.
And no one can defend themselves.
No one can do anything. There
No
isn't.
guns.
Yeah. So they can completely reign supreme.
Yeah.
You know?
She even said like if just half the people in North Korea had a gun, like they could defend themselves. They wouldn't let their children get taken and their family get taken. But then we have Joe Biden, who directly appoints people who want to take away that amendment. It's beyond me.
Yeah, the blue side of politics has become just establishment. And the ruling, the people that rule already, like the blue side of the Democratic side, it seems that's the side that's them basically at this point. Because being a liberal used to be you're anti-war, you're actually pro-freedom of speech.
Right. Very progressive.
Pro-drugs and stuff. But now it's just become like an establishment, a protective layer to the system as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
the Republican Party's still very fucking corrupt.
Right.
But
that's like basically how our country was founded, patriotism and loyalty.
The colleges now are fucking holy shit, they're become
really bad.
what she said like struck a chord with me when she said that when she learned in Asia, it was very matter of fact, logic, like 2 + 2 = 4 type shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is what the fuck is going on, you know?
Right.
And then she said the thing that took her back the most in coming to the college in America, Columbia, one of the most prestigious colleges in America, how prevalent it was for them to form the way she thought about things.
Yeah.
Like you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like her perception of reality.
Right.
It wasn't just 2 + 2 = 4. It was them constantly bringing in these theories, like
Controversial ideas.
Yeah, ideas and nothing even to do with any, like, what does any of that shit have to do with actually learning?
Right. No, it
applicable
feels,
stuff.
It feels like brainwashing. Colleges, and especially prestigious colleges like that, it feels more like brainwash than like learning.
It's become that.
Mm-hmm.
But it became that pretty recently, because I think that there was a long amount of time where it was matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like, this is what this is, and it wasn't like them trying to control the way you see the world.
Right.
But recently there was a hard left.
Yeah.
I remember my ex-girlfriend applying to colleges, and she had to write a paper on a social cause that she felt strongly about. So you couldn't get into the college if you weren't into some social justice cause, which is alarming.
Yeah.
So it's going to create this fucking breeding ground of people that are pro whatever, and you know what I mean? Like, and it's going to be like this really enclosed bubble.
It's like their little army.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. And that shit put me into like a spiral of like fucking paranoia and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, everyone I know who goes into college and graduates, they come out a complete liberal, like dead ass. It's like brainwashing. It's really scary.
Yeah. So like this institution that was there just to kind of teach you things, like, is now breeding, like a breeding ground to create people that believe a certain political side. Like they come out an extremist in an extreme stance on a political side. They come out all on the same extreme stance.
Yes.
Politically, and that is alarming.
Yeah.
Because this college isn't supposed to do that.
Right.
That's not what it's here for.
Everything you've ever believed.
Yeah. And give you a political stance.
Right. And everyone comes out with the same one.
And it's extreme.
Yeah.
Usually they come out extremely on that side. Basically socialist.
Yeah.
They come out socialist. It's not even like they come out a Democrat. They come out full on communist / socialist.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is North Korea?
Fucking.
This is socialist paradise.
Socialist, communist. Yeah.
Yeah. She said it's a socialist paradise. The news is always talking about positive things, and then a bunch of like all the beautiful things happening, because how could anything bad be happening in the socialist paradise, North Korea?
It's fucking wild. So crazy. And I don't think we can really do anything about it, because Biden is all buddy with China, and China makes their money through sex trafficking, weapons, drugs, organ, what were they saying?
China, I mean, yeah, China funds North Korea. Biden's in bed with China. Well, his son was getting funds from China. If I'm getting that right, I'm pretty sure I'm right. In some way, he was receiving funds from China. And then, so, I mean, and the only reason China would be giving a fucking crackhead money is if he had political ties. And who's his political tie? It's dad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fucking apparent.
Yeah.
It's right there.
And when you hear her talk about China, fucking so socialist, and it's scary, because they literally make everything we have. We economically rely on China as much of the world does.
Everything says made in China.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
The whole fucking societies was made in China at this point. We don't export anything.
Crazy.
We don't export shit. We used to.
Yeah.
When we were a superpower, we were creating the fucking cars and manufacturing and actually had shit to export out to the world and made a lot of. And now what do we? You go down like a major intersection or a major street or whatever, and it's just strip malls of Chinese food, you know, cheeseburgers, a shoe store. I mean, you go and you drive through society and you don't see basically anything that's actually producing anything. You know what I mean?
We're not.
It's actually making
giving anything to the world back. Where I mean, what are we at? Like trillions of dollars in debt now, something like that. I mean, we don't give anything. We just take and take and take. We don't give anything back. We have nothing to offer.
Well, and now we're spoiled because we have like Mexicans come over the border and they do all the shit that's actually hard.
Cheap labor. Yeah,
they do everything very, very cheap and efficiently. And it's kind of been that way for a long time. And now white people won't even do it.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing it for so long. It's now like, what am I doing with this hammer? Like,
right.
You know?
Yeah, it is a lot of times strictly Mexicans.
Yeah, and in LA especially, anytime you see a gardener, anytime you see anybody doing landscaping work for somebody, Mexican every time.
Yeah.
Every time. You will never see a white person doing it.
I have Mexicans who do the backyard at my house. It's just...
There you go.
Yeah, they do landscaping, construction.
Yeah.
All the manual labor.
Yeah, so I mean, if they go, we've kind of become dependent on that in a way, because if the Mexicans all left, then white people would just be like fucking pissed off, you know, doing a half-ass job on your fucking lawn, like charging the shit out of you, like, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's wild.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And she was saying how it was like, I think it was when she got to South Korea, where people told her that she could actually work for something and be rewarded, you know, by your labors. Because before, you were born into a class and you could never marry up. You could only move down.
You can only move down, yeah. And there's 50 ranks divided in 3 sections. You can only move down, like if you fell in love with somebody of a lower rank, you move down. The person underneath you never moves up. And then you're allotted a certain amount of money every month, and it's not even close to enough to live off of. Your clothes is given to you. Your haircuts are decided for you.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of give you like the type of hairstyle that you're gonna have. You get paid monthly. You don't have. It's just socialism. It's a socialist paradise.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So
we don't see how we're literally headed in that direction. Aren't there lockdowns going right now in the U.S.?
States that are in lockdown, California and New York come to mind. New York isn't, they're both not locked down, and they're both not the whole state. They're just extreme.
Okay. Yeah.
On the extreme end of being a liberal and stuff.
Okay.
So the most extreme end on the political spectrum.
Yeah.
Is basically these 2 cities, and they're basically kind of going to lockdown. But the media is signaling it's doing a lot of that, like kind of posturing itself to announce a lockdown with the new strain.
Yeah, I'm like getting almost scared that they're going to start requiring masks again. I'm like, I don't want to do that again.
I think a lot of people don't want to do that. And I think that even if they do require it, it's not going to have the same effect that it did the first time they announced it, because people at this point, people are just like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like, fuck off, please, fuck off.
That is true. I see businesses putting up like no vax, no mask, no problem, your body, your choice, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that they still felt that way, like, about their own body.
Your body, your choice, right?
The blue side, yeah.
Right.
The fucking Democrats, Jesus Christ.
They call out Republicans when they say, my body, my choice. And they're like, but you're pro-life. Okay, well, my body, my choice, and you're pro-choice. So it, like, you know, flip the tables. You're just as much in the wrong. Like,
you're a hypocrite.
Yes.
Yeah. If you say my body, my choice, and then say that everyone has to get this fucking jab that isn't FDA approved, that was rushed, and that there are side effects coming out that seem to be pretty fucked up. I don't know what the percentage in people it's happening to, but it's happening.
Yeah.
It's fucking happening. People are getting fucked up by this shit. People are dying.
Yeah.
Somebody I fucking know, his uncle never got the shot, the injection, or he never got coronavirus, but he got the injection and died of a heart attack the next day.
My grandpa, they got the vaccine. He got COVID.
You don't know when he got the vaccine, though, right?
No.
You don't know.
I want to say he got COVID within like the first few weeks of getting the vaccine and died.
Yeah.
Last week.
Of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to target anyone, but liberals specifically like that piss me the hell off. Just like, you know, if I say my body, my choice, and they come at me with like, okay, what about abortion then? And I'm like, I'm not against abortion. Like, why do you assume everyone is an extreme on one side? Like, you piss me off, you piss me off. Like, shut the hell up, you know?
But you have to fit into this one category.
Yeah, for some reason. I mean, I have literally been told by my father, sorry, he's just so conservative, but he's like called me a liberal before. And I've also been called conservative by liberals. I'm like,
yeah,
because I don't fit exactly what you guys believe, and I'm a little bit of both, because y'all are both fucking wrong in your own special way, and I, you know, want to make sure of both for whatever reason, because you're both extreme. I can't have that because I'm too liberal to you or too conservative to you, when really I just want everyone to shut the hell up.
Yeah, getting called a liberal by Republicans, and then getting called a Republican by liberals.
Exactly. Yes.
That's fucking where we're at. Like, I want to talk out loud that things have shifted so much that I say my views and I basically sound like a fucking Republican, but this was all liberal.
Yeah.
A lot of everything I say was liberal before. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was the fucking
it's
liberals
true.
fighting with Republicans in like the fucking 70s and 80s over lyrics. You know, Christian fundamentalists had like a huge pull in the political party. So it was like they were prosecuting people and protesting lyrics and language.
Damn.
And then now, look.
We're all a bunch of sensitive ass.
Now the liberals are fucking trying to censor language, but they can't because they have so much fucking power.
Yeah, because Kamala is a liberal. Biden is, I don't know what you call him. People want to say he's not a socialist, but I don't care. Kamala behind him is weird because she supports the Green New Deal. So whether using COVID or global warming or what is it, climate change.
Yeah.
Whether it be one of those two things, they're going to try and push the agenda of the Green New Deal, which is ultimately socialism.
The Green New Deal, is one of it's going to be, it's basically socialist. It's going to end up very socialist in the way that the government's just going to have a bunch of fucking more power over us because they just say that they're trying to save the earth.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you have to do this now, or your car's going to have to do this, or you have to pay a bunch more money.
Yeah.
For
or you just have to comply.
Because Freon, the fucking liquid you use for your AC, because of climate change and stuff, now you have to use a more eco-friendly Freon, like liquid for your AC, and it costs like fucking 6-7 times more than the other Freon and stuff. And it's just like, because the Freon's gonna, and then the cow farts,
Yeah.
right? There was a documentary where 51% of all the fucking like fumes and the shit that's fucking up the ozone
Pollution.
layer, 51% of it's cow farts. And it's like, so they want less like cow farming and stuff, but they're cool with people killing of developing life in their stomach. And it's just like, you need,
It's fucking weird.
yeah,
It's all over the place.
you how can you be for the cows and for the dolphins but be cool with killing a developing fucking human in somebody's stomach? It's just weird. It's hard to like, you got to choose.
Have sympathy for animals and go
Yeah,
vegan,
you gotta
but
have both. You can't be both those things, can you? I guess you can.
vegan and
And
pro
killing
choice?
babies. Save the dolphins, kill the babies.
Honestly,
I'd get that tattooed.
I
love
bet
that.
I bet you there's people like that.
Save the dolphins, kill the babies. I'll get that fucking tattooed on my leg.
Make it a slogan.
Yeah, that's a fucking slogan.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, that's what.
And I've even tried talking to people about abortion, and I'm like, look, I'm not against you getting an abortion. I'm just against, one, killing it right before, letting it fully develop in your body just to kill it seconds before.
Yeah, there's a line.
Yes.
It's got to be
Yeah.
not
And
that
also,
developed, because it
yeah,
really resembles murder at that point.
it's
We
an
still,
entire baby.
yeah, we have to kind of
Yeah.
keep up the illusion that you're not actually killing something.
Right, because then you are completely invalidating every woman who has experienced a miscarriage ever by saying it's just a fetus, it's not a baby. So every woman who has felt the loss of their child after having a miscarriage, it's just a fetus, it's not a baby, so why cry? Oh, it's just, what do they call it? Not a virus, but a bacteria. I'm looking for the right word.
What?
They call it something like what's a tick?
Parasite.
A parasite.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. They call it a parasite. They say a fetus is a parasite. And I'm saying, so mother who has a miscarriage, you're just going to say, stop crying, it's just a parasite.
So you were a parasite for 9 months. That's how.
It doesn't click. And that's the thing. I'm not against abortion. I'm just against the extremities and like organ harvesting, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. I just want everyone to have all the information. And when I say that, I told that I should get raped by fucking liberals.
Yeah, a liberal.
It's crazy. I'm just trying to be neutral, and
And then someone
no one wants
wishes
that.
that
No.
you get raped by somebody because you basically have a neutral stance, and it's become so extreme. That's basically where we're.
Yeah, if
Right.
you don't agree with me, get fucked.
Yeah, if you have a neutral stance, then people are so extreme that they're still going to tell you that they want you to get raped. They hope somebody rapes you.
Yeah, or they hope you die.
How do you feel about this? The fact that they use tissue from the abortions in vaccines.
I don't want to say I'm anti-vax because I'm actually not. But I do think I've done a lot of research on how vaccines correlate to things like OCD, autism, and ADHD. And this is honestly kind of a conspiracy or a theory, if you want to call it. But based on the research that I've done, there was a study they did with Yale that children who had vaccines were like however many times more likely to develop OCD and ADHD. And so what I connected was like, I've had OCD, anxiety, and ADHD since a child. And people say sometimes when kids get sick or they get fevers, they can have an onset of OCD because OCD is actually often not always caused by, but inflammation in the brain makes OCD worse, or sometimes it triggers it for
The
some.
brain's literally inflamed.
Yes, inflammation in the brain. So I have actually started taking anti-inflammatory pills.
How can you find out? Is there a way to find out if the brain's inflamed? Do you know?
I don't. Possibly like MRI or X-ray, or just you have OCD and then you take anti-inflammatory and sometimes it gets better because it attacks that inflammation in your brain. But so I made the connection that, okay, so when I'm a kid and you're literally vaccinating me with these diseases, my brain could be getting inflamed and causing OCD, and my brain is developing as a baby. So that OCD could potentially just stick with me. Not saying vaccines cause OCD, but do you get the
Yeah,
you get what I'm putting out?
Yeah.
like there's been proven sometimes a correlation, but the CDC doesn't want to say it's enough that vaccines do cause this, or there is an increased chance of this with vaccines. But it's like dead ass kind of scary.
Yeah, I wonder if there's been fucking studies on what injecting an aborted baby into your blood does over time, or like what specifically that ingredient, because it's actually used a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of very common vaccines were harvested in aborted fetus.
They still do it.
Fetuses and organs, and I'm like,
that's the vehicle for the virus they're trying to give you, because you're developing a artificial immunity or whatever
against
it, and how they get it to you. Basically, the vehicle is an aborted baby.
I've also thought, this is again just a theory, but if you think about it, we were using, I forget what vaccine it was, but it's happened many times. They still do it, where they use aborted fetuses or their organs, their cells, to develop the vaccine. So then we go and inject that vaccine into ourselves. What if this fetus was related to us? I mean, this is human DNA.
Yeah.
Don't you think like putting that into someone else could cause autism? And like, you know, things we see from incest, because potentially you're mixing other humans' DNAs. They could be related to you. Like they're using some fetuses sometimes early as like 50, 70 years ago who died. So you could very well potentially have been related to them. And then imagine getting that fucking vaccine.
It's true.
With
Yeah.
their DNA.
That's what I'm curious, and I'm going to research that after this podcast. What is the long term, if there's studies available of what injecting a human, a killed human baby into your blood, like what does that do? Like short term and long term, because it has to have some side effects.
Yeah. I mean,
it has to.
Yeah.
And it's toxic. You can't eat other human beings. There's a disease that you can get. But I don't know.
So, yeah, literally all theories, but it makes you think. Like,
yeah, I mean,
what are we doing?
Yeah, and if you're a Christian, you can't be for that. That is really, really, because a byproduct of abortion is in the fucking needle. So you can't, because if you support that, then you're supporting abortion.
Right.
Yeah,
so because that's how they're developed.
There shouldn't be any Christians pro jab.
Yeah. And
you know,
it's crazy. I've talked to some people who like they vaccinated some kids and then the last two like they didn't. And so they're still young, but they're seeing how it's affecting them because
that's a good case study.
Yeah.
What with this vaccine?
No, not the COVID vaccine, but like vaccines are given when you're born.
Yeah.
There's also like variants. Oh, that's what it is. So there's apparently like the mainstream on-brand vaccines are made from aborted fetuses, but I guess there's variants. What are they called? It's like another word for humane, like the ethical option. They have ethical options for vaccines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like meatless meat, like the meat's
I
made
wonder,
out of beans.
I haven't looked into exactly what it means, but there is like.
So how do they transfer
ethical versus
the virus? What are they using to transfer the virus?
That's what I'm confused about. If you can make it without the fetuses, why don't you just do that instead of having options?
I was gonna get okay, two things. I was gonna get Pablo a vaccine and 5 minutes of studying or looking into researching the vaccine for parvo and the other vaccine they're supposed to get for puppies. There's mercury in it, which is a neurotoxin.
But there's actually, they use mercury to preserve vaccinations as well.
Yeah, mercury, which is fucking toxic to your brain.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to put that in your body.
No, it's literally toxic to the human body.
Yeah, to the brain. And and Pablo's so dumb.
Right.
Like we both, like, he's so stupid that I can't put mercury in him.
Yeah.
And I wasn't anti-vax. I was like, okay, I'll let him have the shot, but I'm gonna see what's inside of it.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And then 3 minutes of research.
Poison.
There's poison in it. It's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna let them put that in it. I'm not gonna put that in his blood.
Right. Yeah.
And then here's a thought I would love to get your reaction from about. You ever notice that white people have way more retarded kids than Mexicans?
And psychopathy is common in white people, not as much as
And the coloreds.
colored people. Mm-hmm.
So psychopaths and retards. And I don't know the politically correct way to call somebody retarded. Do you know it?
I think mentally retarded is
Mentally retarded?
Yeah.
That's what's
the word.
Okay. So why do you think that there's more mentally retarded babies and people like that are white just going through life? I don't know any fucking studies. I don't know fucking the numbers, but just in going through life, I've noticed that white people have way more retarded kids.
You don't see a lot of black people with Down syndrome.
No, or Mexicans.
Yeah.
I think I've seen one Mexican in my entire life that was like actually mentally retarded.
Yeah.
So what do you think that is?
I've actually had a conversation about this with my mom, and really the only conclusion we came to could be potentially like vaccines, because they have more access to vaccines, or also that we derive from Europe. We're European and they practice fucking incest, you know? And
did other cultures not do that? And did white people do that more than other cultures?
I feel like in Europe it went on for a long time because of the royal class, royal family, whatever the hell you call it.
Okay. Yeah, and they all have to, the blood has to remain in the family, so
that
everyone's fucking everybody.
Yeah.
Like you're fucking yours.
That was siblings. Just a thought why white people are the fucking way they are now. So much, more often psychopaths and have mental disorders and stuff, because it's true. Like a lot more white people have autism, stuff like that. It is inherently dominantly a white trait.
Asians keep it in the blood, though. I think any royalty keeps it in the blood. It keeps it in the family. I think the colored people have royalties too. Kim Jong-un and the Ills, that's a royalty.
Yeah.
And they keep it in the family. Actually, no, they I don't know if it's in the family, actually. I might be fucking talking on my ass. You just might have to be a Korean.
But they all do incest, ultimately.
I don't know.
Yeah, because that was like the only thing that I could think of, or possibly like polygamy that white people did. I know more than just white people, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
but predominantly.
If you look at the Middle East, royalty in the Middle East, they have so many wives and so many kids.
Yeah.
So it's brown people too. But the only major differences that I could see between white and Mexicans, diet is pretty different.
I was just about to say food.
Diet's different.
Yeah.
But not super different. So the ingredients is pretty common.
Do you think the
white people
quality of our food versus like other countries?
Probably. I mean, there's so many chemicals that they put in the food that, I mean, who the fuck knows what that's doing to you?
Yeah.
But even then, it's still more white people than the people eating the food. The white people are producing most retarded.
Yeah.
It's the retarded babies.
Yeah. That'll be interesting to research.
Yeah.
Because that's been like my only like incest, vaccines, not necessarily cause, but can contribute. Or maybe I also have thought like if an autistic person like has that trait, and then I forget what the theory was, and then they like get the vaccine or something that could like kind of trigger it. Maybe it's just more carried with white people, or I don't know.
I think the injections have something to do with it.
Yeah.
I do. But I mean, who the fuck knows? Really, just not.
No, I've seen a few studies and people really don't want to talk about it. It's like everyone who kind of, there's been a lot of people who just die, who find some connection to vaccines and autism, or who have a cure for autism or something that helps symptoms of autism, and then they just die.
Yeah, I'm not even. I'm completely cool. I mean, in my day-to-day life, I'm fine.
Right.
I'm not so worried that I need to put any injection into me.
Yeah.
Anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay. You know?
Yeah. I personally, if the numbers are not even showing improvement because we have this vaccine now, what's the point? Whether you have a vaccine or not, or a mask or not, like people are still getting infected.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying now that it makes it have a lesser impact on you when you get COVID if you have the jab or have the injection, but that means that it's not actually a vaccine, though, because a vaccine's supposed to give you it artificially and then make you immune to it.
Immunity.
But if they're all getting it, the people that get the shot are all getting it still, it's not a vaccine. If you're saying that it's just something to help you once you have it, it's not a vaccine, that's a treatment.
Right.
So I don't know why you're using the language vaccine when it's not that.
It's not at all.
It isn't that. It's a treatment.
It hasn't been tested as such. It just got fucking emergency.
Yeah, emergency pushed, and then now they're saying that they're gonna FDA approve it soon. So and then once they FDA approve it, I mean, we know how corrupt the fucking FDA is. It's full of fucking people from the pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
I had someone break it down in a chart of like how many people from the pharmaceutical industry are sitting in the FDA, and it's fucking a lot. So they're going to approve it with the FDA, and then after that, they're going to be able to basically force it onto people. Anybody with a government job, they can now, like, you have to do this. It's not, you can't opt out of this. It's been approved now. You have to take this or you leave, or you can't work here.
That's so fucked. Do you know how many things have been approved that have then got the what is it, recall?
Yeah.
Recall stamp.
That fuck people up, all the time.
Yeah.
Because the FDA is not fucking shit, really.
Yeah, but we just have to live with it, right?
Yeah. But there's huge resistances happening. I saw videos in like France and Italy, Australia, huge protests everywhere. The media doesn't show it at all.
Yeah.
That there's huge uprisings and people assembling in the streets in most of the countries that are telling people that they need to have papers in order to live the life they used to be able to live.
Yeah.
Just going through it. So, I mean, huge uprisings everywhere right now.
Damn. Who knows where we're headed?
Who knows? I mean, they're kind of prepping us up and kind of lubing us up for another lockdown or another, with they're just pushing fear again. They're back on like their fear shit. Just with the new variant, how many people are getting it? They're just like right back on their, making people scared and shit as much as they fucking humanly can.
Right, so that they trust them. We'll protect you.
Yeah,
we'll save you.
Then we're more likely to accept their unconstitutional, all the unconstitutional shit that they do to us.
Yeah. Crazy.
Or they tell us if everyone's just like, go fuck yourself, there's nothing they could do, really.
Right.
there's not enough prison capacity. There's, you know,
Yeah.
they really don't actually have the power. It's just like a little fucking group of people.
We still have our guns.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, Australia didn't even do that to them until 30 years after the guns. So,
Yeah.
and we still got our guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, that's going to be a little bit tougher for us. We have a lot of patriots, a lot of men who hunt, a lot of people who like their big guns. It's going to be hard if they do want that.
Yeah. I mean, even in the process of taking them away, some motherfuckers are so American,
Yeah.
I'll say, that they'll shoot you
Yeah.
for trying to take it. They're not just going to
Trespassing.
hand that to you.
Right.
And if you're going to take it from some of these motherfuckers, if you're going to take it from them, and it's life or death.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Every man for himself.
Your dad being one of them.
Yeah. I can imagine him. I've been waiting for the day that I can
for
use
real.
this.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's where we're headed. I mean, who the fuck knows where we're going to be?
It'll be fun to see.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Looking forward to it.
Just make sure to get water and food stocked up, because God knows
Stock up.
what the fuck's going to happen. We got shortages around the corner. The lockdown probably around the corner.
Seriously.
Fucking gay.